Hey everybody, it's Meta. Just here to make a little bit of a commentary track for this TF2 video. I'm not really looking to have this pretty heavy, and I'm not even listening to this audio as I record it, but I just want to talk briefly about catharsis and sort of finding contentment in what you do in life. Obviously, earlier this week, I told everyone that I would be making a video, a big review, and even a little preview on YouTube, where I'm sure very few people saw it, but hey, that's sort of the breaks when you're trying to come up in the YouTube landscape. Algorithms and whatever else all determines your fate, so hey, getting any sort of traction is welcome. Some of you might be coming from my session montages, and I'm quite grateful for that. Those session montages mean a lot to me, even if they are poorly made, poorly edited, whatnot. Unfortunately, my background is in graphic design, which some of you might be able to tell by the things that I put together. Some of my friends close to me who probably have watched the rough cut of the video that we're still trying to produce right now are well aware that speaking is not my forte. I'm not a great public speaker, and in general, I'm a pretty shy person. I try to keep to myself, and I try not to step on any toes, but as much as I'd love to go on my own little biographical rant or what have you, I'm here mostly because I want to talk about finding catharsis, even in really grim times. Because to me, producing this video was a lot of fun up until the point of having to do the voiceover. The voiceover for this video was utterly dreadful to make. I spent maybe about a 2-hour session doing the recommended recording tactics I've been told by friends, other professionals, YouTube tutorials, things like that. Cover yourself with a blanket, use a mic that has a condenser, whatever. Just try to make the audio as appealing to the listener as possible. And it kind of sucked. I was going for a live commentary style, sort of like what I'm doing right now, and it just didn't work with the kind of video I was producing. The rough cut is me cutting down about an hour and 45 minutes worth of audio into 30 minutes, and even though it has some jokes in there that I really liked and some cutaway gags that I didn't think about when I was in the process of making that video, unfortunately my strengths don't lie in off-the-cuff commentary. I do better when I think things out, plan them, sort of be more methodical. My strengths lie in writing and in visual design. It's what I went to school for, it's what I've done all my life, and that's what I'm going to lean into. So for anyone disappointed by the fact that the video I said that was coming out tomorrow isn't coming out 3 days after the deadline, I'm sorry, but I will assure you that that video will be coming out as soon as I feel it's up to snuff. And for some of you who this is the first time meeting me, welcome. I really don't know what to expect of this YouTube channel. I really don't know where it's gonna go. But the thing that I wanted so badly from that commentary style that I was going for in the initial video was sort of return to form. Something reminiscent of the old days where we had prominent figures like Star and Funk and people like Salty Fish and all those other people who could make wonderful live commentaries, dissecting exactly what they think of when they play TF2, or who would explain some sort of like other concept while in the midst of it. Unfortunately, I'm not that. Only a mere few days ago, I had never used OBS before. I had never even thought about, well, I've thought about, but I never put together a video of this nature where I would have graphics and visuals and music and all the editing that goes into making a YouTube video professional. It's just a fact of life that some people aren't really cut out for certain things. And sometimes our vision doesn't really match up with what our strengths are. Obviously, we can work and learn and sort of try to operate in a different mode, grow, essentially. And that's kind of what I'm doing with this channel, where I'm not experienced in things like video editing. I'm not experienced with Premiere Pro, which is what I edit most of my videos in. I'm not experienced with finding stock music or things that are, oh gosh, uh, you know, I'm not familiar with how to produce these things. I'm not familiar with what good audio sounds like, and I'm not really sure what good commentary sounds like. At the end of the day, I'm just another person who plays this game and who loves this community and wants to see TF2 grow despite all of its setbacks and all of its conditions attached to it. And that's kind of what it feels like playing TF2 is nowadays, is that there's a lot of conditions and a lot of things you have to put up with just to kind of have fun. But I still think this game is worth it. TF2 is unlike any other game that I currently play. Typically in the typically in the shooter genre right now, we have a lot of movement towards being tactical, being this very curated experience. For instance, two of the other big shooters that I play at the moment are Fortnite and Overwatch 2. Obviously, both of those games try for mass appeal. They try to appeal to everyone, and in many ways they succeed. But in a lot of ways, those experiences can feel sterile. Overwatch especially. Fortnite is a bit more of a casual experience, so I do find myself enjoying that more often than not. I actually have some plans to put out some of that Fortnite content in the future. I don't plan on being totally devoted to TF2, but I think that the reason that TF2 has stuck with me for so long, since roughly 2014 and sooner, is just because, well, it's both a casual experience, but also one with a lot of depth. This isn't a puddle of mud that will just kind of dry up after a while. The world of TF2 is just rich with character and nuance and ways for you to sort of put your own spin on something that is already established and well liked. And in some way, I guess that's me, what I'm trying to do with this YouTube channel as well. Trying to get my foothold in something that's already been essentially dominated, tamed. It's no longer the Wild West of early 2012, where all you had to do to get any kind of respect was be a voice and be good at the game. Only a few days ago, I learned how to use a master config, the master config site. That was my first time buying the game that way, and it finally brought TF2 to a playable state for me. I'm no longer frustrated by things like lag and bots and all these other things because, at the core of it, my TF2 experience was always muted by technical difficulties. And so is my ability to make things like this, things that I can share with people. And in many ways, the catharsis that's the heart of this video, I only found by stepping outside my comfort zone. And I'm really glad that I have this opportunity to grow and to potentially find an audience and to do cool productions like the one I'm working on right now. It's hard to really describe what it's like being part of a community unless you're experiencing it actively. And even if no one listens to these videos and no one really sees things that I see them as, I'm still just very grateful to be able to do the things that I do, to be uncomfortable, and to learn things on my own time. Being 23 and playing a 12-year-old game, it's kind of disheartening in some ways because you feel like you're not living up to the standards that you should be. You should be making money. You should be growing as a person, but you should also be doing it all on your own. Independence. But life isn't that simple. The past 2 years have just been dreadful for my mental health, and I want nothing more than to just go back to a simpler time where I could just be content with myself and be with the people I love and care about. But since time travel isn't a thing yet, And since my computer still isn't up to snuff to play ridiculous games like Rainbow and CSGO, I'll still be here playing TF2 and enjoying every minute of it. Hopefully, anyone listening has found their own catharsis, and hopefully you'll be seeing more of me in the future. But if not, thanks for watching.